The Southeast Asian region is home to scam compounds run by human traffickers. In these areas, where no government enforces security, workers are controlled by force, sometimes even at gunpoint. Every day, the bosses here rake in millions of dollars through online scam operations. The movie tells the story of a genius programmer. His name is Fen Sheng. He works for a renowned computer company in China. Today is the day he is supposed to be promoted. This is a reward for his long dedication to the company. However, unexpectedly, the position was taken by one of his colleagues. Out of anger, Fen Sheng removed his employee badge and left immediately. Before quitting, he hacked into the company's projector system. This action caused his colleague's presentation to fail in front of the competitors. Afterward, Fen Sheng decided to move to Singapore to work for another computer company. Today is the day he flies to Singapore to join his new colleagues. On the plane, the company's supervisor introduced himself. His name is Zheng Kai and he is Singaporean. Currently, he is working at Fen Sheng's new company as a manager. After hearing this, Fen Sheng immediately questioned, "Aren't you from Hunan?" Realizing his lie had been exposed, Zheng Kai calmly responded, "I used to live in Hunan, but when I was 6, I moved to Singapore with my family." Later, Zheng Kai asked Fen Sheng, "How did you know my background?" Fen Sheng replied, "I hacked your phone system and found out your IP address is currently in Hunan, China." Fearing exposure in front of everyone, Zheng Kai quickly handed over his phone to reassure the group. After the plane landed, Zheng Kai confiscated everyone's passports and took them onto a vehicle. The group was driven to a narrow alley. Fen Sheng called home to assure his family of his safety. Meanwhile, the others were taking pictures to capture the surroundings. Suddenly, a group of thugs appeared. Without saying a word, they attacked the new employees, knocking them unconscious. Then they blindfolded everyone. Fen Sheng realized something was wrong and tried to escape. However, he didn't get far before being stopped and beaten to the ground by Zheng Kai. The new employees were then taken to a strange facility. This place was heavily guarded, with men carrying makeshift guns standing at the entrance, looking menacing. A man in charge approached and introduced himself to the group. "My name is Binkane. From now on, you will work at this facility under my supervision." The group, unaware of the danger they were in, cursed Binkane out loud. His henchmen stepped in and began beating them as a warning. Binkane, annoyed by the noise, fired a shot into the air to silence everyone. He said, "Since you're here, you must work and contribute to me." He then led them inside, introducing the place as a multi-industry business facility. It sounded legitimate, but in reality, it was a large-scale scam operation. The facility dealt in areas like stock trading, extracting money from online games, gambling, and more. There were 8 sections within the facility, including areas for luring victims, assisting victims during gambling, spreading information online, and more. Binkane showed the group the victim luring section. The employees here communicated through text messages daily to find potential victims. Their monthly salary was around $4,500, and if they achieved high revenue, their income could go up to $17,000. Afterward, Binkane took them to the upper floors. As they passed the torture room, they saw a man being brutally beaten for attempting to escape the facility. His heartbreaking screams made Fen Sheng and the new employees feel terrified. Binkane continued to lead them to the facility center. Here, they saw many young women whose job was to deal cards online. Here, Fen Sheng met Anna for the first time. The difference between Anna and others is that she wasn't forced into the organization, but voluntarily joined it. By the time she realized it was a scam operation, there was no way for her to escape. Anna used to be a famous model. Her image was misused in scams, damaging her company's reputation, which led to her contract being terminated. Afterwards, she received an invitation from a friend to participate in a photo shoot and happily agreed. However, upon arrival, she discovered it was a nude photo shoot. Outraged by the deceit, Anna left immediately. Before she came to this place, she had been coerced into signing a contract by her friend. If she didn't complete the photo shoot, she would breach the contract and have to pay a penalty of $17,000. Fortunately, her close friend helped her out of the situation. Not only did Anna's friend pay off the contract fine, but they also introduced her to a high-paying job. Tempted by the lure of money, Anna flew to Singapore to join the organization. However, it turned out to be a trap set to scam Anna. When she arrived in Singapore, Binkane confiscated everyone's passports. He declared that unless they met the job targets, they would never be allowed to leave. From then on, Anna became a beautiful online card dealer for the scammers. After exploring the entire facility, Fen Sheng returned to his room to clean up. Shortly after, Zheng Kai came in and threatened him by holding a toothpick to his eye, forcing him to call his family to assure them he was safe. Later, Zheng Kai brought back the man who had previously tried to escape and tortured him again. The next day, Fen Sheng began working for the organization. Zheng ordered him to create a website, but he refused. As a result, Fensheng was beaten up. Eventually, he reluctantly sat down at the computer to work. Being a programming genius, creating the website was no challenge for Fensheng. In no time, he successfully copied hundreds of personal data entries. Afterward, Fensheng came up with an escape plan. He tore a piece of paper into small pieces and wrote a plea for help on one of them. Then he went to the restroom and slipped the paper outside, hoping someone would find it and rescue him. Unfortunately, while hanging onto the toilet, he slipped and fell, causing a loud noise. The noise caught the attention of someone else in the restroom. That person leaned out to check the situation. It was Anna. Without saying anything, she picked up the paper and returned it to Fensheng. She then shared her story, revealing that she too was a victim like him. Anna explained that she had to meet a target of $700,000 before she could leave. At that moment, Zheng appeared. Fensheng heard his footsteps and quickly hid in an empty room. To protect Fensheng, Anna lied to Zheng, claiming she was on her period. After Zheng left, Anna attempted to check outside but was slapped by him. He then handed her a bag of sanitary pads. Unexpectedly, a water pipe in the restroom burst, causing a loud noise. Hearing the sound, Zheng returned to investigate. Fensheng panicked, tore up the plea paper, and threw it into the toilet to destroy it. However, the toilet flushed slowly, leaving some pieces visible. Realizing the danger of being discovered, Fensheng decided to pick up the paper scraps and swallow them. When Zheng checked each room, he also inspected Fensheng's mouth. Luckily, Fensheng had swallowed all the paper and left no trace. At that moment, another person came in to inform Zheng that the next shipment had arrived and needed his attention. Before leaving, Zheng punched Fensheng out of spite. The next target of the scam organization was a successful man. He had a PhD, was consistently promoted, drove a luxury car, and had a beautiful girlfriend. One day, while talking with his friends, he saw a casino advertisement featuring Anna. His girlfriend immediately noticed something unusual and warned him to stay away to avoid trouble. However, out of curiosity and greed for high profits, Tizzy decided to give it a try. He clicked on the game and selected a beautiful card dealer who was Anna. Tizzy began betting with his available funds. Initially, he kept winning, making him believe he had a special luck with the game. He started thinking about earning unlimited money from it. But in reality, there was no luck involved. It was all part of the organization's scam tactics. The next day, Tizzy used his PhD knowledge to explain the game's rules to his friends. He calculated meticulously and concluded that the odds of losing were only 1 in 1,000. Confident in their intelligence, he believed neither he nor his friends would fall into the small odds of losing. He wanted to exploit this loophole in the game with his friends to make extra money. However, before involving his friends, Tizzy had already fallen into an endless pit himself. He logged back into the game and bet all his money in a single round. But this time, luck did not smile on him and he lost everything. The opponent he was playing against was none other than the computer genius Fensheng. Fensheng, knowing Tizzy had lost everything, befriended him through social media. He sent him information about a no-interest loan. Without hesitation, Tizzy borrowed $150,000. He used a small portion to buy a gift for his girlfriend, while the rest was used for gambling again. This time, Anna messaged him, saying the bet had doubled his money. All of this was part of a collaboration between Anna and Fensheng. At this point, Tizzy had lost all self-control. First, he took an advance of 3 months' salary and sold his limited edition expensive shoes to gamble. But all the money was lost. The $150,000 loan remained unpaid. As a result, debt collectors came to his house and threatened him. Desperate, Tizzy began selling his blood to make money, but the amount was far too little compared to his debt. The debt collectors kidnapped him as a hostage, forcing his parents to pay the ransom. His father quickly gathered enough money and finally managed to pay the $150,000 to save him. Afterward, his parents confiscated his phone to stop him from gambling further. But Tizzy didn't stop. He borrowed his girlfriend's phone to bet on football. Surprisingly, this time he won a large amount. He shouted in excitement, but his girlfriend wasn't happy. It turned out she had canceled his bet before it ended. This enraged Tizzy, and despite her repeated apologies, he accidentally pushed her aside. The next day, Tizzy went to his grandmother to borrow money. She gave him $20,000, the amount she had saved as a wedding gift for him. But this still didn't satisfy him. He took all her valuable jewelry as well. At home, he smashed furniture and used threats of self-harm to force his mother to return his phone. Once he had his phone, Tizzy took his family's land deed and used it as collateral for a $100,000 loan. Anna then contacted him, introducing a new investment program. She told him that if he deposited money, he would immediately earn a 30% profit. Without much thought, Tizzy deposited all his money into the fraudulent app. Anna successfully scammed Tizzy but felt deeply guilty. She knew she had committed a significant wrongdoing, but if she didn't follow orders, she would never escape the organization. Bincombe received the money from Tizzy and distributed it across various channels to evade police detection. After depositing the money, Anna's account immediately blocked Tizzy. He tried to contact her but received no response. All the money that his grandmother and parents had saved was completely gone. His parents immediately reported the scam to the police. They also called his girlfriend to help find him. At the end of his rope, Tizzy chose to end his life to atone for his mistakes. Ignoring his girlfriend's pleas, he couldn't face the shame of his failure. The police stated that from the beginning, Tizzy had fallen into a trap. It was a virtual game, and no matter how much he won, he could never withdraw the money. After this operation, Bincombe collected the money and distributed it among the organization. Fensheng, who had made the greatest contribution, only took a single banknote. Anna thought she might be released and allowed to go home, but that was just naive hope. Once someone enters the scam organization, no one leaves unharmed. Anna approached Bincombe, asking him to keep his promise, but he refused. Instead, he forced her to kneel and apologize. Fensheng, noticing that Anna was in danger, went to Bincombe to propose a deal. He suggested creating a customer service website operated by machines. This allowed Fensheng to live in a slightly better environment. Later, the organization arranged a trip for employees to take photos to send to their families. Fensheng also took a photo and sent it to his close friend. Thanks to the new program developed by Fensheng, the organization required fewer workers. As a result, Bincombe decided to release the captives. Fensheng seized the opportunity to write the Ministry of Foreign Affairs phone number on the single banknote he received. He gave the note to his friend, instructing him to call the number for help once he escaped. The next day, Fensheng overheard from Bincombe that the organization wasn't releasing people as promised. Instead, they were selling them to another facility for $4,000 per person. That night, as the captives were being transported to the new facility, Jiang Kai, lacking money to buy cigarettes, used Fensheng's banknote. The shopkeeper noticed the phone number on the note and immediately informed Jiang Kai. Upon returning to the facility, Bincombe brutally beat Fensheng's friend, demanding to know who had written the phone number. Both Fensheng and Anna stepped forward to take responsibility. Anna was tortured by having her nails pierced with toothpicks, while Fensheng was beaten until his leg broke. Fensheng's friend suffered the worst fate. He was nailed in the head and shot dead on the spot. Anna was later sold to another facility. While being transported, she jumped off the vehicle and ran to a local police station to report the crime. However, the officer, knowing she'd escaped from a scam facility, immediately alerted Bincombe. The harsh truth was that the local police were in collusion with the scam organization. They took bribes and agreed not to investigate any rescue requests. Anna was caught by the police and handed back to Bincombe. The organization placed her in a sack and threw her into the sea. After filming the incident, Jiang Kai rescued her and brought her ashore. After spending time working with Anna, Jiang Kai developed feelings for her. He took her to a boat, tossed her passport on board, and helped her escape. Anna fled back to her home country and went to her mother's house first. The police arrived at her house to investigate, but traumatized by her previous encounters with corrupt local police, Anna panicked and ran away. As she ran, she screamed, causing the police to try to calm her down. One officer assured her that he was there to help, not harm her. Meanwhile, at the facility, Fensheng was locked in a dog cage. Bincombe showed him a video of Anna being thrown into the river to crush any hope he might have. Afterward, Bincombe ordered Fensheng to fix the bugs in the new application. Despite his injured leg, Fensheng crawled to the computer and began fixing the program. Anna was taken to the police station but refused to disclose anything, fearing she might be imprisoned. Tizzy's girlfriend, who was now volunteering to help scam victims, happened to recognize Anna. She realized that Anna was the woman who had deceived her boyfriend. Afterward, Tizzy's girlfriend took Anna to the hospital to visit him. Following his suicide attempt, doctors diagnosed that Tizzy would remain in a vegetative state for the rest of his life. Tizzy's girlfriend explained that she had been with him for 4 years, while Anna had only known him for 4 months. However, Tizzy trusted Anna more than her, something she could not understand. Despite everything unacceptable that Tizzy had done, his girlfriend still wished that the one lying in the hospital bed was Anna, not him. Overwhelmed with guilt, Anna collapsed to the floor, crying in anguish. The police showed Anna Fensheng's employee ID and asked her, "Do you know this person?" Overwhelmed with guilt, Anna collapsed to the floor, crying in anguish. The police showed Anna Fensheng's employee ID and asked her, "Do you know this person?" Anna looked at the fan page in the photo and nodded repeatedly. After that, she cooperated with the Chinese police to join a crackdown on the scam organization. Once the plan was established, the police immediately flew abroad to investigate. The reason was that the scam organization brought significant benefits to the locals. So not only the police, but also the people sided with them. At this moment, personnel from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs arrived in time to stop the riot. Investigating abroad posed a significant challenge as the police needed cooperation from the host country to solve the case. Meanwhile, Fensheng's friend, who was teaching at the time, noticed something unusual. In programming, the number 6 symbolized 110 distress signal. From the photos Fensheng sent back, he realized that all of them hinted at the number 6. He immediately reported this to the police station. The police quickly investigated and discovered an elementary school with the address 666. They noticed something suspicious. The amount of food consumed there was far greater than the number of students. The police discreetly placed a message inside a steamed bun to pass information into the school. The person who discovered the note was Fensheng. The police instructed the people inside to light a fire as a distress signal. Fensheng ignited a fireball so the police could locate them. After receiving the signal, the police brought Anna into the facility to use her fingerprints to unlock the doors. Through surveillance cameras, Bin-kun saw that Anna was still alive and realized that Jung-kai had deceived him. He quickly opened the safe to grab the money and prepare to flee. Knowing he had no other options, Jung-kai attacked Bin-kun with a weapon. Surprisingly, Bin-kun didn't kill Jung-kai but instead entrusted him with the key. Afterward, Bin-kun approached Fensheng and asked him to take care of his daughter. He also gave Fensheng the address of the girl's mother to ensure she was safely delivered. By this time, the police had breached the doors and surrounded the facility. At that moment, Fensheng stepped forward and said to Bin-kun, "Hand over the password to the tracking device so we can find the remaining captives, or I won't help care for your daughter." Fearing for his daughter's safety, Bin-kun handed over a device containing a list of 2,000 victims. However, the police didn't trust Fensheng and immediately restrained him. Fensheng explained that he was a computer programmer and that the odds of successfully decrypting the device would be much higher if they let him do it. He pleaded with the police to let him handle it to save the remaining captives in time. Just as the police were about to retrieve the device, Jung-kai shot it, destroying it. Immediately after, he was shot dead by the surrounding forces. Everyone in the organization panicked and tried to escape, but they were all captured. The police decided to extradite them back to their home country for legal proceedings. Anna, sitting on a transport vehicle, saw Fensheng being brought out. She immediately ran toward him. Fensheng said nothing but smiled at her. What can we learn from this story? Scams aren't the scariest thing. The most terrifying is human greed and uncontrollable desire. Remember, the money we earn should be worthy of our efforts. In life, there's no such thing as an easy job with a high salary. Be cautious of your own greed to protect yourself from falling into scam traps.